Greetings and salutations once more, my friends. I have returned. I am here. Hi, welcome to Saturday. I hope that you're all groovy, whatever you may be doing. It's been quite nice outside in the world today, for the most part. Work has been an absolute dog. Just turn that down a little bit more, just in case. But yeah, it's. I hope that you're all groovy and up to wonderful things this weekend. And so, as always, just quickly running through socials. Where are we? Last one. Story. Right, okay. I'll stop fucking about. Hey, hello, Anton. Good evening. Good evening to you too. That's all the social stuff all done. Now to get back into things. Okay, so we have. Oh, now I've got to put that back on as well. I've got Tiny Do to worry about. How are you, Anton? What have you been up to? Anything exciting since last we spoke? I wish that would just focus. Why would you focus? Hey, hello, Plas. Drum and bass boys. go. Right, so we've got a dude there. We've got 3 dudes to paint. And we're going lead belcher. Those are the armor plates that they wear in their little armored helmets. And then I'll probably put the Seraphim Sepia over them. You Ben? Hello. Yes, I have perfected my word bearer's paint method. Nice. Yo, Mr. Lee. Hello, Felix Afusa. Hey, been a while, how are you? Have we all got hobby on today? Are we all getting down with the paint? Or the build? What's got your interest at the moment? Let's, has anything happened in the last day, 2? I know we spoke about the Saturnine stuff briefly, or a little bit on Wednesday. I'm not that particularly bothered. It's something that I've kind of realised that in recent years, it's like, I don't know, it feels like there's something missing from where, like, coming from the start of the heresy back in 2012 to now, there has been obviously notable shifts in everything really, production, manufacturing, the way models come out, having models in plastic now, which obviously makes it cheaper, which is never a bad thing, and I'm all for. But I don't know, it's just the enthusiasm. There's still a lot of passion out there, but I think there's also a lot of stubbornness where people are just building on armies they've already got, and just I'm not even like enhancing them, it's basically just getting larger. So like a friend of mine's almost got like 30,000 points of Iron Warriors. Been way too long. Miss being able to catch all your streams. Oh, well, you're always welcome here. Door's always open. I was excited to get a plastic Mechanicum Knight. And why not? Mechanicum Knights are awesome, and plastic ones are cheaper, and you've got a lot more options, I would imagine, posability wise. I haven't got a plastic like Cerastus in particular. Is he building the whole 4th Legion? Pretty much, yeah. A large swathe of it. It's a grand company, no doubt. Because I thought, because I'm around, for my Emperor's Children, about 14,000 points. So it's, it's a fair amount, and you can't play armies of 14,000 on one game. The LI ones, anyway, they aren't superposable without cutting and adjusting. But yeah, it's still much easier than the resin ones were. Well, that's the main thing. So like, building resin knights was quite interesting a lot of the times. So with the brain work, I was sort of commissioned to build one for Jason Kingsley, who is the head of Rebellion, because a friend, um, who worked there, basically got me to build him a Knight Lancer. But it was basically the pose I went with was that it's literally launching forward. He's only got 1 foot on the base, so it's like like a fencer where they like surge forward, lunge forward, riposte, or whatever, with their foils, as they're called, what, ipi, okay. But with a lance and obviously a shield. So it's positioning and getting it to be structurally secure, so it's not wobbly and all that. So that was a challenge. It wasn't to paint it; it was purely to build. So I managed it. I got it done, and that's that. I weren't even being paid for it. I was doing it as a favour. And that's just an excuse, Lee. Of course, you can play 14,000 points per side. You just need to take a week off. Yeah, true. A week off, indeed. Ras. It would look awesome, but the breakage chances are through the roof. Yeah, not my problem. Was this your first foray into solar orcs? Yes, this is my first foray into solar orcs. A friend of mine donated some sprues, basically. So it was like, I like to say it was like a birthday present sort of thing. It was purely because they get stuff sent to them for review. They're not doing anything with them, and they said, "Like, would I like them?" And I went, "I would like them," and so they sent them out for me, which was very sweet. So yeah, so I've got these, and I've got 4 sprues of infantry, so little walkie robot dudes, Ogrins, and the normal sort of like las sections and stuff to deal with. So that's all fantabby-dozy. What am I doing? Get back into the bloody YouTube stuff and actually. That's it. Right. It's better. Yeah, so just a small contingent. So obviously one Bane Blade, 2 Malcadors, and 4 Layman Russes. So that's like squadron, and 1 part of the squadron. Obviously, I've got Mechanicum, I've got Imperial Fist, and Emperor's Children. So these guys, I suppose, could be fluid in respect of who they, deploy alongside, sort of thing. So if I wanted to mix in some Solar Orcs with my Imperial Fists or Emperor's Children, I've got the options at least. Just a small contingent, So I'm not going to go like too deep on these. I can never remember the names of the super heavies, but the plasma ones are wicked. Yeah, the plasma one was like one of my favourite ones. I've always, since original Epic, I've always loved the Shadow Sword. Just the idea that he's got a volcano cannon, a Titan weapon on a tank frame is pretty awesome. The Stormblade is the plasma cannon one, which I liked it for the look. Again, I would say for me, not including Legion super heavies, but the original super heavy tanks, I would say the Shadow Sword was my favourite, Stormblade the next, then a Baneblade, then like the Hellhammer, which is the sort of variant on that, and the well, I put that last actually because I like the Stormlord, which is the one with the Vulcan Mega Bolters, the troop carrying one. Because I've still got one of those. I sold my Arcurian pattern Shadow Sword, like in my big one that I had, and I sent that to a friend because he was looking for one and he collects tanks. So I thought I've only used it once in like 15 years. You know, it's nice to have, but you want to play it. So I was going through like a purge of my stuff. So I swapped it with him for a load of Adeptus Titanicus blister packs of weapons and stuff. So it supplemented my Titan hobby, and it kept me topped up. And they actually helped with weaponizing my last couple of Titan Legions. So now you need some miniatures. Yeah, as I said, I've got 4 sprues of infantry for these guys. So, you know, Ogryns, the little walkers on there, and then obviously the las sections and stuff, rifle sections. I mean, there's a fair few infantry, yeah. Hey, hi Kenneth. Evening dudes. So when you going to mimic the army in 28 Not. I'd like to see Stormlord in Li. Yeah, no, all the variants. But the thing is, like, some of those variants came out post Heresy, so that's why you don't get everything, unfortunately, because Heresy era, you're stuck with what you get. But yeah, the Stormlord is quite a handy little tank, transport as well. So it would be interesting if they ever did the Capital Imperialis, you know, the big like lumbering behemoth. I'm also beginning my Knight Malefex Allied Detachment. Nice. But yeah, it's handy having like I always love to have options. So a small like detachment like this with infantry support. I'm pretty sure I've got some. I keep on forgetting to look. I think I've got some Avengers, like the fighters, because they are heresy, aren't they? So, because I know they had them in. I bought the back when they'd done Aeronautica Imperialis. I bought the box set which had the Tau in it because I love barracudas and tiger sharks. So I got them for that. Now I know that they came with the gunship um, Valkyries in that, but Valkyries don't exist in Heresy. But they also had the Avenger Strike Fighter. So I think I've got two of them somewhere. I've just got to find them, and then that'll be their little air support unit. I think it's like 2,565 points, but you know, yeah, I understand having lots of knights and titans is essential. Breeds character, I find. Right. Now, one thing I was thinking of doing, do you know, you get the little sort of like bits, sorry, on the front of the tank here where they have it white and then they have like a stripe in it, sort of thing, to identify units. I'm thinking of doing that with these. So it just adds extra detail to the actual whole thing, and that's what I want. I want them to look like little cool dudes. If they're tearing around, fighting for the Emperor or for the War Master, depends on what mood they're in. So let's get the Corax White revved up. So everyone's getting their collections all sorted out. The summer is almost here, and I'm sure that there'll be plenty of meetups over the summer months of massive warfare between valiant armies and nefarious naughty dudes. getting we've got was it UK Games Expo next week after next. So that's always a good time with like all the stuff that's coming out and being on show down in Birmingham. Oh yes, I have a 30,000 point game next weekend. Roughly 9 of us all day heresy game. Excellent. So those are such fun. It's like crazy and confusing at times, but you know, having that much on a battlefield is always the way to go. I really do enjoy like apocalypse battles. So is that Warhammer World you're going up to? Or is that local? Blandford. Well, it'll be a good game. And many tales will be told of heroics and nefariousness. Where's one a bit dull? So I'll just do that on those now. Let's see how this goes. for this I'm undecided. It depends on what is needed. My Night Lords, if trait is required, otherwise Dark Angels will come out. I tend to leave it to whoever organises on which side they want me. That's fair. That's why I tend to do, not with Titan Walks though. I'm strictly, in the big ones, I'm strictly Loyalist, because I'm Ignatum. I cannot play Ignatum as traders. I know other people have. I didn't realise how white my arms look. They're not, they're not that. It's like day glow arms. Oh my god, they're not. They have colour. They have colour. Obviously, like that, you can't even see my tattoo on this one. You can't even see. I've got a tattoo sleeve. No, this one here. But you can't see it there. Sorry, it just blew my mind how white my arms were. Gamer tan, yeah. So. This might not work, but we will see. Ouch! Just got myself in there. Hmm. I do wish it would let you fucking just like go in, but it looks cool. It looks cool to me. I'm happy with that. So it's just rinse and repeat on the other bits. Ah. Let's get. Yeah, so I sprayed them with Halford's Grey Primer. Then I used Dark Reaper, is the grey. Um, then I washed it with 50/50 Agrax water, but then I added a little bit more Agrax to it onto the whole thing. The tracks I started off with this stuff, Oily Steel, on the tracks, and then I went over them with watered down Mournfang Brown, and that's how they've sort of. There you go. That's how they've come out on the tracks. And then I dry brushed over with Administratum Grey. So just dry brushing, catching all the edges and all that sort of stuff. So that's basically it. I don't do intense paint schemes. I keep it relatively simple and straightforward as best as I can. I did experiment with just doing Basilicanum Grey, but it didn't leave a lot, in my opinion. So that's why I painted over it and started again with the Dark Reaper. And Mr. Lee, are there a lot of Legio Furies? Yes, there are. Last walk at Salute, I was facing off against a whole swathe of Furians. My friend who has the 30,000 points of Iron Warriors has a lot of Furians as well. So it's whenever he can get back into attending, because he's had quite a busy couple of years with stuff. It would be good to see him at a Titan Walk with all his Titans. It's like double figures of Furians. Yeah, and they're really nicely painted as well. So the ones at the Titan Walk at Salute were really nicely painted as well. It was disgraceful. I'll have to figure out this bloody camera. I've had to. Oh, be fair, actually, thinking about it, I did download the new settings, so that might have had an effect on the camera. It hasn't been too bad in recent weeks. So Infernus, yeah, there is. I think it's Infernus, or it actually might be. It might be Magna. There's been a lot more attendance of lesser known or lesser seen Legios recently as well, so that's been great to see on a tabletop, a battlefield. Iron Skulls. Yeah, there's loads of Metallica. My mate Phil, who comes in here every now and again, he's Metallica. My friend Lee, another one of all things, he's Metallica. He's also the guy who has the Imperator Titan that everyone seems to think you can play Kill Team on, which you can, because he has. So he's not only got the Imperator, but he also has several Iron Skull Titans as well. So they're represented. So the main Alright, calm down, son. The main sort of loyalists we have are Astorum have quite a big representation. Mainly because there's one player who's got around, I think, 15 Titans in the Astorum colours. And I think he's actually got a few more which have yet to be painted. So there's him and another guy I know who's got a few Warhound, a few Astorum. So Astorum probably has, I would say, conservatively, well, I would say there's probably around about 25 Astorum Titans that can regularly attend. It obviously depends on the size of the battle and stuff like that. Ignatum, you've got my 5 plus. There's another guy, another 2 Princeps actually. JB, he's got, I think he's probably got around about 8. I know he's got like 2 warlords, about 4 hounds, and some reavers. I think he's got Warbringer as well, so he might have actually got about 9. Crucius, there's about 10. Again, Astroman, there's only like 1 or 2, if that. Rarest Legio I've seen. Honorum. So, you know, the red and gold type one. Because I think he's only got a couple of titans. No Interfector as of yet. Obviously, Mortis is well represented. Even Vulturum and Volcanum. Vulturum is a good. Well, there was until one my hobby son decided he needed to sell some of his assets, so he sold a couple of his Titans, and I know one of them's been repainted, so a different Legio. So yeah, but they've probably still got around about 9 Titans between a couple of them. Gryphonicus have a good representation. Oh, there's more Crucius, yeah, because yeah, there's 2 Crucius players who regularly attend. There's 2 to 3 Gryphonicus. 2 Ignatum, unless JB is using his Audax, because he's got an Audax mana pool of Warhounds as well. Who else is there? Oh, there's like Defensor. There's 1 Princeps I know who has Defensor. There's 2 Solaria, but only one of them regularly attends. There was 3 Solaria, but the other guy sold because he didn't have. He was only doing like once a year, and he sort of fell out of gaming a bit, so he sold his stuff. So yeah, there's loads of others there, but not ones that really, you know, ring a bell. Apart from that, so like Honorum is probably the smallest. It's people who like have 1 Titan, so we normally fold them into somebody else's mana pool, so we like get them to team up, so like they don't, you know, they last longer than being on their own. I was thinking about painting them up as either Fortidus, Infernus, or Interfector. I know 1 person who is Fortidus. So I'm not. I think it's Legio Magmar, but I'm not Infernus. Oh, there's also another guy who's Furians. There's a few Furians. It's interesting to see their takes on all their armour. let's see. Hold on. Where are we? There you go. See a little bit better. So I just used a bit of wash on like the weapons and stuff, just to differentiate them from the actual armour. And do some more details on these. That's dark aluminium. I don't want dark aluminium, I want jelly. That's darker. What's that? New Joe Magma represents. a little bit of this, because you want the like interior to be white. So because tankers used to paint the interior white because it reflected what little light they had, so they could actually see in the tanks. So always do it on the inside sections of the actual tank hatches. Just get a little bit of Corax white on there. To represent this. Yeah, white and cream, yeah. I've even used sort of like Uthrin grey, because that's quite a nice light, but not white. I'm going to put the Sux goggles on a sec. Where's the colour I want? There it is. T20 brushes. I always use Corvus Black as my main go-to black for all occasions. So be it for cables, because that sort of like dull, sort of like rubber sort of feel to the actual blackness, because obviously Abaddon black is very glossy and shiny, and that's not what you're looking for really, is it? good black. So it's just picking these little details out, really. It does add to the overall effect of the little Tony Tonk, because you want them to look as cool as heck. And if adding a little bit of paint here and there, that will help you to do that. But I say, like with the little cable there, with you've got so much like detail in these kits that they just really do look so cool compared to the old sort of Epic models where you didn't really have a lot of detail going for it, really. Oh, pun. These are oozing detail. It's just finding it and adding the paint to it. Done them. What's it on here? Not really. No. Seminole Knight, I quite liked Deepkin Flesh for it. It was cool. Yeah, there's loads of detail on Solar Range. Kind of scary to see all replicated at LI scale. Yeah. But it's impressive nonetheless, having that done. Oh yeah. Right. The little light thing. Do I go yellow for like a spotlight? So Crystal's looking mute. Crystal's also streaming, so I'm lurking in mute as well, as a fulfilling my capacities as a mod. So I'm just letting them. Oh, funsies. Oh fuck, where's he gone? Oh, there is. I misplaced him. Oh no, like I haven't watched Eurovision in a very long time. I've caught bits of it whilst passing through rooms, um, but my son loves it. He absolutely gets into the whole Eurovision thing, you know. So he's so not only like because he has autism sort of thing. So not only is he like good at with trains, buses, and their timetables and routes, he also knows a shitload about Eurovision. He literally like you could find out who won in what year and where that victory took place. It's quite impressive, really. So he's watching it at home with his mum. Don't know if his sister. My daughter doesn't really have the same affection for it, but he is been looking forward to it. Oh yeah. We did try to get tickets for last year's one because it was up in Liverpool. Because of the Ukraine was hosting and it was in Liverpool, we thought, well, we'll try and get tickets because obviously Britain's not going to win it anytime soon. Yeah, so I have no frame of reference of who does what and all that. So he does, but it brings in pleasure, so that's all good. Although he's kind of impressed that I know the bass player to Lords of the Lost, who were in it a couple of years ago. So, representing Germany. Eurovision. Yeah, I remember like growing up as a child, like Eurovision, and like seeing like Bucks Fizz, and with their whole routine where they rip their skirts off, sort of thing, to reveal a micro skirt, and it's like that was the greatest thing ever, in my opinion, for for that. But yeah, I never really. I used to listen to it. Admittedly, when Terry Wogan was doing it, I used to listen to it because it was his whole sort of like passive aggressive mockery, which obviously Graham Norton does an alright job. But Terry Wogan was the king when it comes to that, and that's what made Eurovision more popular. I reckon is basically the way he sort of spoke about things and described things, so I just bought into it. Grass. Yes. So it's all because it normally for the last few years it's been on my birthday, and it's been kind of annoying because it's like when my son was more interested to watch it on my birthday. It's like, what are you doing? Yes, visiting from Forge. So yeah, so we are in two streams. We live between two streams. Right. Right. Some more yellow, so I can do the. Right. That's that. Need that back. Yes, Kenneth. Yes. Well, Crystal has been sort of urging me that I should look at doing Twitch, because then she said like she could raid into my stream and stuff like that, help out and stuff. Because like she knows Twitch in and out. I have no freaking clue. I have a Twitch account. I could do it, but I've been very reluctant to because I'm an old grumpy man. But yeah, I have honestly thought that because um, Crystal was one of my bestest friends, and like I've been on her stream recently, and we had fun. It was nice mucking about. So having a joint stream one day would actually be, I'd imagine, fun. You know, mocking each other, um, just having a giggle, because that's what it's all about, really. You know, the hobby in general is meeting new and interesting people and becoming friends. And you know, when you become friends, you get to share your life, explaining all your interests with each other. You know, learn new tricks and hobbies and stuff. And yeah, I think, you know, like myself, I work better like with you guys when you're in the chat talking to me and I can respond. I'm more animated and more chatty. When there's people in chat and they're not talking, like I can see like viewers, like I can't see who they are, but I can see that there are a certain amount of people watching. Um, so if they're sitting there and they're not sort of interacting, it's hard for me to sort of do anything. You know, I can only talk so much before I get bored of my own voice. Um, so like when you are having a chat amongst you, I can join in, and you know, when you're asking questions or you know telling us about what you're doing, I can respond and interact, sort of thing. So that's how I get enjoyment out of, like, you know, I'm painting anyway, but it's getting to hang out with you lot, and yeah, catching up on how your week is, what you've been up to, and stuff like that. Because I've always found, and this goes back many years now, like I used to do a thing with some friends, and we called it Paint Club. Didn't like to talk about it though, but Paint Club on a Monday night, like once or twice a month, we'd meet up around one of our houses and hobby, you know, do some painting for a couple of hours. But because you've got company, you've got voices amongst you, it's not so sort of like, it's nice having that communion of souls with that proximity. And obviously now most things are online. It's the same thing. Like you guys are there, you're doing your hobby. I'm yapping in the background with the whatever soundtrack I've put on. I can't even remember what one it is. Oh, it's Future Ambient. So you know, you've got that. It's like white noise. That's what I am. I am white noise, but I'm an interactive white noise. So you could be doing something, I'm reacting to somebody's comment, and it goes, oh, wait a sec, I know something about this, or something like that's happened to me. And then you chat in, and the continuation continues, conversation continues. So that way, you know, everyone's got that sort of, you know, camaraderie, that sort of like hobby spirit. And I know it's, you know, when you're painting, you have to put your paint down and type in or whatever like that. But that interaction really does make a difference, I find, because sometimes you can be really productive without even realizing it because you've been having fun. And like you go next minute, oh, probably I've done more than I expected. One of those interactive white noise type for a chapter one. For chapter one. So, but you say like how simple and effective. Just a little bit of dry brushing. You know, there's not, honestly, no effort. it's you know, sometimes these things you get away with murder with this. Yeah, I've got to do the black on his dudes. Yeah, that's the thing they have. So as I said, like, you know, with these models, they are really good, but you're not going to be up close and personal with them. But they do, on occasions, turn out quite well. Wow. Does make me want to do more work on my solar, the Scowl though, the other Scowl, yeah. But that's the thing. It's like we all inspire each other at the end of the day. Like, we've had all sorts of people in here in the past where they're doing projects and you see what they're doing on their Instagram and stuff like that, and you go, wow, that's pretty bloody impressive. And right. We'll need to get some more black shields transfers though. Need some more spears and shields. I say, have you ever like not done got your own stuff done by like people like custom scumbags for customs? Because obviously you can have a chat with him, and he's probably got hundreds, if not thousands, of options to print up. And he's I'd say I don't get any kickbacks or anything like that. It's just that I've used him and I've been impressed with the service. But yeah, he like, you know, if you've got an idea, he can probably knock something up, and he'll like have a chat with you and then get it done fairly quickly. Anton, really? Do you think one Titan is enough? If you honestly believe that, that is you are mistaken about me, my friend. One Titan is never enough. Oh, what's that? Oh yeah, you send them thingy, didn't you? Sorry. Oh, yeah, pretty cool, man. Oh, that's awesome, seahorse. Is all right? I'll show them on here if that's cool with you. Okay, I'm upset. Needed slurpage. So these are Kenneths. Look at that, and they're pretty cool. Yeah. And the that's impressive, mate. Lovely work, sir. What was I doing? Oh yeah. Right. Lights. Where's my super glue? Also use symbol on the tanks. Do the Nemesis even exist? And hello, Judge. Just saw you sneaking in this. Sorry. Well, if you really want to do it, then do it. They look awesome. What's not to love about having them on the battlefield? I say. Just touching up these little bits. So this has actually turned out better than I had actually hoped. So it's always good when something nice like that happens. Yeah. So I don't think that's turned out too shabby. It's only like a simple sort of stripe, but it does add something a little bit more to the actual just base colour of a tank. Now, having squadron markings is kind of important. It feels that it's kind of important. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. Just fuck off. Just rivets. How dare you? Yeah, so like obviously in the kits, in these kits, you do get the two different barrels. So where you've got like these are the standard battle cannon. So I purely went with that and the las cannon. So las cannon is obviously anti-tank anything. Hey, hello, Cephist. How are you, sir? And the battle cannon's like infantry and like armor, because I think that's got a wide. Whereas if you went with the like the Conqueror turret barrel, that's purely like anti-tank. So you're sort of lessening things. Hi, how was your birthday? Yeah, my birthday, but it was weird. I'll be honest with you. Like I went out. All I really did. Now, bear in mind, it's my 50th. I know I look like 27, but yeah, I didn't really do anything for it. Like I had a friend of mine did message me like earlier in the year, said like it's your 50th. Are you like? Do you want to do something? Like, do you want to do something with the rest of the gang, or do you just like just go, me and you go hang out somewhere? And I said, oh, that'd be cool. But that fell through. So all I did was go out. I took my kids to a Miller and Carter because for Christmas my boss got me like a gift card where you take it to sort of restaurants and stuff. And for me, Miller and Carter, I spent 50 quid on a steak. Well, it was a surf and turf. It was basically an 8-ounce fillet steak with lobster tail on top, because I thought, fuck it, just 100 quid, bonk it. So I had that. My daughter had a 9-ounce rump steak because she likes simple things. And my boy, because he doesn't eat meat, he only wanted chips. So okay, you can have chips. So he had chips. But yeah, that was actually quite nice. There was actually quite a few people who shared my birthday as well. Table next to us, there was like a family. There was about 8 of them and kids celebrating their son's birthday. It was like 37. And then another one walked in later on with some balloons and stuff. So it's like, oh, obviously it's the place to go. 28.5, surely. Thank you, Kenneth. You're so sweet. Cut off all the rivets. No, I'm not touching the rivet. I'm not going near the rivets. Coming in here. I see what you're doing. Yeah, I'm watching you. I can see you look down at the phone. Not that she can hear me. She's on mute. She's on mute on my phone, and I'm on mute on hers. Yeah, it was nice. But again, like normally, like I'll be honest with you, like when I was, I think I've mentioned this before. I may not have. I don't know. But basically, when I was 18, coming up to my 18th birthday, and I thought, well, it's my 18th. It's a big birthday. So I organised with my friends about going to a Chinese restaurant. So I booked a table for 12, and so like get there for 7:30 sort of thing, and it's and we'll have a great time. 4 people turned up. One of them was me, and another one was my girlfriend, and 2 friends. And we've gone into this restaurant like, well, where is everyone? And this is like before mobile phones as well. So you could we're sitting there going, well, where is everyone? And the others didn't turn up. So it was like, all right. So you're sitting at this huge freaking table that's been set out for 12 people, and there's only 4 of us. So it was a bit of a disappointment, to say the least. Now, the second part of the birthday party was later on in the week, where we was going on a, basically a pub crawl, and people turned up for that. But it was like, well, that's what we do anyway. There's no real difference. We might have just gone a little bit longer and heavier in different pubs. So I sort of reluctant to organise birthday shenanigans because of that sort of paranoia that people won't turn up. So yeah, no cancellations. They just didn't turn up. No dancing. There was a little bit of dance. Me and Maddie did have a little bit of a boogie later on, because I can't remember. It was like literally, well, to be fair, we was dancing in the car, so it wasn't proper dancing. But for my age, I guess it was acceptable. So I was more the fact that I would have enjoyed like doing something with friends. Like I honestly I did plan out where my friend said about like going out, like spending a day saying. I thought, okay, let's go around London. Like I thought, right, we'll go to the Imperial War Museum. Go there. I've never been. Go to the Imperial War Museum. Go around there, and then head over to there's this. I can never remember the name of it. It's a Roman, um, it's like religious sort of thing, or a temple type thing that was found in the like underneath a building in London, central London, and you can visit it free of charge. So I thought that would be cool to have a look at this old sort of like I think it's like dedicated to Minerva or something like that, but Minerva Theum or something. But it's there. I thought we'll hit that, and then there was something in Greenwich where it was in like about pirates, and I thought, well, we like pirates, we'll go see pirates, sort of thing. So like, and then you had to like pay for that. So I planned out a day, um, but he couldn't get the time off. He could have done the Saturday, but I couldn't get the time off. So yeah, so literally, I took an extra day off on Wednesday, and I built and painted these dudes. So that's it. No sort of wild parties, not like the old days. My parties were legendary, and dangerous. Lots of stuff used to go on at my parties, like people that my friend circle from clubs and stuff all turn up to my little flat. Literally, my front room was entirely filled with people, um, and obviously some in the kitchen as well as the hallway and the balcony. You know, you'd be amazed how many people can get to a two-bedroom flat. But yeah, it was fun times. I got some GW vouchers, which I still haven't spent yet, so I'll probably get myself a couple of packs of tanks. I'm thinking Mechanicum, the Krios, because I haven't got any Krios tanks, so I might get a couple of packs of them. So you have like 6 Venators and 6 Krios. So that'll be a nice little armored bundle of fun for my Mechanicum, because I've got enough like troops and robots for them. But yeah, you know what it's like. I did actually think about getting more tanks for these guys, but these are just a supplementary force to have running around, basically. Nice. Right. I think I've got to do some more detail with these things. Anyways, Sophie, what are you up to? What are you hobbying tonight anyway, or are you just chilling out, or what you doing, and what have you been working on? Because I'd say it's been a few weeks since you was last here, so I want to know. Tell me, what have you been doing? Right. I just realised my tanks were kissing. So yeah, look, tip to tip. See if Crystal sees that. Oh, tell me more. What have you got? Your new hobby news. Now, Kith. Yes. I might try and get a little bit of green paint onto the binoculars as well on this dude. Just to Give the illusion of night vision goggles. I went to my local game store's painting night first time and got some significant armour work done on a 75mm Mini. Nice! So with that, was it basically getting the actual base colours down, or a bit of chipping, weathering? That mini is for a Limbo Division contest. Yeah. So is that? I'm just trying to think, because there's a couple of was it Element Games in London were doing a painting competition this weekend, weren't they? I remember seeing something earlier on. I wasn't really paying much attention to. But well, there's no point me getting all riled up for that. I'm not down in London to hand stuff in this weekend. And I know we got Fen coming up soon as well. I know a few people going to Fen this year. And what else was there? Oh, is it Essen? You've got the Golden Demon in Essen, isn't it? That's July or August? I don't know. As you suggested, I'm using the contest as a timeline goal. No expectations, right? Well, that's the thing. It's like sometimes just putting something in there just to see. You know, sometimes, you know, right day, right time, you might get a little, yeah, well done. You know, a nice little pat on the back, and that actually does help with your confidence. It's like getting constructive criticism's one thing, but getting a little bit of like support as well, you know, that's always helpful. So I know, like earlier in the year, where I was at the Legends of Paint up at Warhammer World for the store anniversary, they got a lot of criticism because of their constructive criticism. It's really weird. Criticising the criticism. There wasn't a, people felt a bit deflated, because I think when you've got someone like of the benchmark that is Richard Gray, and he's spending time to, you know, offer his service to like judge and offer constructive criticism, he's not going to mollycoddle you. He's going to basically tell you what you need to do in order to improve, but he's not going to dress it up and make you feel like, he doesn't do that for anyone. Like when he, I know when he speaks to sort of like people like Emma Durant, she said like he's very straight to the point. He's telling you what you need to do, so you have to listen. And some people can't, you know, take it directly like that. They need to be sort of like pampered a little bit, sort of thing. But some people just don't do that, and he's just like saying, "This, if you do this, you will improve." But he's not going to say, "Oh yeah, you've done a really great job there." You know, he said, like, you know, he's not going to basically blow sunshine up your ass. He's just advising you what you need to do to make that next step, so to speak. So, but you know, that's a thing that everyone has to take on board. You know, if he's spending the time, if you're waiting, queuing up, he's not going to say, "Oh yeah, that's fantastic." He's not going to do that. You know, because then that's opens the door to people saying, "Well, why didn't you grade me better then?" So that is 2 hobby wins: hobbying and getting through social anxiety. There were lots of people. Well, again, like, you know, in that environment, when there's people around you, it adds to the ambience. That's how I take it. Like, you know, you don't always have to interact with people. If someone comes to you, then, you know, on a one-to-one basis, you're fine, aren't you? Really, it's a little bit awkward because you're like, who are you? Like I do that as well, and I'm quite open. It's like, what do you want? What do you want? So, it's being comfortable in that environment is good because then you're more likely to go back again and again you've had a good time, so why not? Having these experiences helps to sort of, it pushes you, as you're already finding out. It's allowing you to expand your whole skill set, as well as that sort of social side of the hobby. Just going out, hanging out, and over time, yeah, you might meet a few people there and get on with, and next minute when you go down there, you're sitting next to each other having a chat, having a catch up sort of thing, and that's nice because it's always good when you turn up, they look up, they see a big smile on their face, and you feel welcomed, and that's what you're after, really. Especially when you're coming from that point where you are feeling a bit anxious. Having a friendly face is so much better, to sort of walk into a place and go, hey, dude, and just go out, chill out, hang out, and paint, sort of thing. But also, I know, like in certain groups I've been in, where even online, you're hanging out online, and people realise nobody's talking, but it's that company sort of thing. You don't have to talk all the time as well, so you can just be comfortable in your own hobby silence. So it's well done. That's good going on your part, and as I said, you've seen that. This ain't too bad. This is good. So double win indeed. So well done. You're evolving, my friend. There's soon to be no stopping you. Right. I say I know I've got coming up. So I've got UK Games Expo, which will just be literally me just walking around most of the place, bumping into people, and doing Pokemon Go generally. Last year, I'm walking around trying to hatch eggs and catch Pokemon, and yeah, just literally just seeing people. That's all I turn up to these events for, really. I don't turn up for any other reason, apart from obviously if I'm doing Titan walks at Salou, but I don't turn up to these events with the whole idea that I'm going to go shopping. I turn up to see the people that are doing the shopping, and just have a chinwag catch up and stuff like that. And then Crystal's got her birthday at the end of June, end of June, up at Warhammer World. So we're all going up there for Warhammerness. I think Kill Team. I think. Well, I'm going up there. I may not even play anything. I will just go up there and hang out. I've played a couple of games of Kill Team. Well, I've only really played one half of the game, against Rob and Crystal's other half, and he was showing me how to play, and I'd literally rinsed half of his force in the first so it's like I kind of felt bad. It's like I wasn't trying either. It's just like, oh, I've killed him. But yeah, it's just like, I don't mind participating in things, in games like that, because that's what everyone's doing. That's the project thing. Um, so yeah, it's I might give it a go. So I could even try and knock up a. I've got a Kill Team up there. I found it wasn't mine. It was the boys. He just got it and never used it. So I might just give that a bash. Right. So I just managed to get the little visor painted with a bit of moot green. That's way too big. I realise it's that it's a jumping off the cliff way to do a sorbet project, but it's a samurai bunny with a cannon. Oh, dude, that sounds awesome. You got to send me a picture. I want to see it so much. That sort of stuff I absolutely adore. I love. There's a company, Oathsworn Miniatures, and during lockdown I bought several. I like to make it's for their game, Badgers and Bunnies, or Bunnies and Burrows, or something like that. But it's like I've got a model of an otter, and he's like a pirate otter, and there's a pirate, so it's a rat who's dressed up as a pirate, and then there's a little dog who's dressed up in a chainmail coif and a shield and like a tabard sort of thing. I love that sort of stuff. Yeah. The minis they are really cool. They're very characterful as well. They're mostly metal, so it's like getting used to after painting resin and plastic for so long. It's like, oh my god, what do I do with this stuff? But they've got a really nice arrangement of models of different sort of styles and characteristics and stuff, and you just build up a little. It's like Necromunda, I guess, like a little gang of characterful dudes. I've got there's a like a Puss in Boots Cavalier type as well. I've got that. But yeah, it was really quite fun and interesting to dabble into that, because it's different, and it's also like Bad Squiddo. Annie, with her stuff, like not only does she do like a lot of sort of like heroic women from the past sort of thing, and like feminine icons. They've also got their little arrangement of battling warrior guinea pigs and rabbits and stuff like that. Like they've got. She has been working on a game for the models. So you got these little bunnies on a motorbike with machine guns and a goat sidecar type thing, and the little tanks that they ride upon. There's a cat. One of my favourite one is the capybara, which has got a massive bazooka on its back. Just like I love that so much. It's just bonkers, and if it's bonkers, I absolutely adore it. But yeah, I think that's the thing with the hobby. When you've got a really cool looking like model for a game, that's half the appeal of the actual games themselves. It might not have the greatest rule system, but if the models look cool, you sort of forgive it a bit, don't you? Because it's all about what you fancy doing. It's like again, like with the sorbet projects, like my Deepkin that I did. Oh bloody hell! I did them because they were bonkers too. Actually, I can show you them because they're just over there. So I'll grab a couple just so you can see my depravity of doing like AOS fantasy. Because as you know, I don't often do fantasy type models. But again, it's the whole, idea of elves walking around with fish. I find completely fucking batshit crazy bonkers, and that is a good thing. Right. Bonkers is always good. My list of silly projects has just been growing. There's nothing wrong with that. Got to leave now. Hopefully, see you soon. Got to finish the last 2 squads of Tartarus Termes. Well, thank you for coming and hanging out, Anton. It's a pleasure as always, buddy. And good luck with your finishing of those 2 squads. I'm sure you'll knock them out in no time. You'll be cool. So take it easy, buddy. Take care, Anton. Exactly. Can't remember seeing him. Phew, pardon me. Right. 2 secs. I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to put a t-shirt on top of my thing because it's getting a bit cold, seeing as it's night. And hide my gamer tan. Right. Get the hair out. Alright, so got an added bonus here because now unfortunately one of the models which I don't know what their names are. I'll be honest with you, I've got no freaking idea what they're called. I just bought them because I like the look of them and as said, bonkers. So so that dude with the squid, as soon as I saw that, I thought I've got to get that because squid on the back, handing a quill and or he's holding ink and a sword. So that was something I thought I had to get because look at it, it's fucking mental. And I just follow like the basic. I I saw their paint scheme in a White Dwarf, so I thought, yeah. So got that dude, the man with the many fishy. Go, my fish, go, go, bring back glory in your fishy way. That dude, and his pointy finger, and his pointy ears, and his little candelabra. So, him. Ooh, ooh, yeah, she's quite happy, content with a little rune and her little eel-type friend hanging around. Skipping along. Tactical statue head. Glub glub. All those love that. It's brilliant. Thank you. Water version of Clippy. Then this is the one that got broke, unfortunately. So as you can see, his little spear, because he was on a display in the house. because I won't be gaming with it, and somebody moved it, and then the thing got broken too. So the length of the pole arm plus the spear bit broken off. I did retain the head of the spear, but that has since disappeared whilst moving stuff. So unfortunately, you know, bit of disappointment. And then Captain Elyman riding on his well, whatever the seahorse dragonfish. I don't know what it is, but you know, I like the idea of him with his little eye patch. So he's all right. And so what was that? I left that mount on the moment I saw it. Yeah. Now, this next one I've got here off screen. One of the first models I bought when I was a teenager, and I'd found in the local sort of toy shop. Say local, it was about 2 mile walk from where I lived. But when I used to walk to said toy shop, they had like the RTB 01 Beaky Marines, Land Raiders, Rhinos, stuff like that. They also had like the Realms of Chaos stuff, and one of my first models I bought was a mounted Chaos Knight, because I liked he had the helmet that was very similar to Boba Fett, you know, with a line and down like that, and I thought, oh, that's cool, I like the look of that, and I bought that. So fast forward many years later, they brought out in Failcast another version sort of thing, and so I got that. So I got him. I've had to paint the horse a couple of times, and he's had bits broken off, so he's like little spike there's gone. I think one of these spikes is actually a cocktail stick that I'd replaced the broken one off with. So I need to replace that spike there as well. Seahorse, unicorn, dragonfish. I've never glued him in place, but I've always, you know, had a thing for this type of, you know, dude. Again, I'm not a Chaos fan, but he looks fucking badass, and I like the fact that he looks badass, even with his little tentacle arm, and the shield that's like looking at you. So yeah, this is one of my favourite sort of models, and again, another Sorbet project. But yeah, and let's see, riding on a pale horse. And his name is Death. Yeah, so I might go back to him again and, let's say, try and get hold of like some more cocktail stick and put some more spike action on there. What have I got there? I've got, okay, here's something. So here's one of my, this is a paint job I did, so this is in the 90s, which was Elder Ranger for BL Tan. So I haven't painted this since the 90s, so this is like one of those models where, oh, this is how my painting's improved. I haven't got a comparison for it though. I've always liked the Elder Rangers because they just looked cool. I like this one because it looked double cool because they had twin pistols. Why bother with a long rifle when you've got two pistols? But yeah, there's no, it's just picking out colours, and I haven't really done anything since. So this is like 30 years old, this. This one's a bit older because I got these when I was 18. I bought these from Games Workshop Plaza. I went in there and I was working because Eldar, Biel-Tan Eldar was my first full army that I made. So I bought Space Marines beforehand, but I didn't have a proper army at the time. So yeah, this is a Harlequin dude. I think I'm not sure if he's just a basic trooper or not, but he's not a solitaire. I know that much. But I think it was like a character model. So again, he's been painted for at least 32 years in some random paints that I had. I've actually still got that green paint, which is actually yeah. So there's him. Now, my favourite Harlequin model, because basically what it was, I went into the Games Workshop Plaza and I said, like, I'm working, you know, when they asked me, what armies are you working on? I went, oh, Eldar, sort of thing. It says, like, I'm looking at getting something to add to them. They said, oh, what you need is some, like, real badass close combat somersault ninja motherfuckers. And he showed me the box of Harlequins, which was £18 to buy, so I bought it. And my favourite model, apart from the Death Jesters and the Solitaire, my favourite model out of that was what was to become known as the Shadow Seer later on, but originally it was just like a warlock type character with the mirror mask. I repainted it about 2 years ago, and in a way to re-emulate the original style of the model from like the early days. So like, you know, green tufts. I didn't do Goblin green because I don't have Goblin green around the rim, so I've done like, you know, some sort of brown. But that is my modern rendition of the Shadow Seer from the box, the like White Dwarf art sort of thing. So the checkers were obviously, knowing Crystal McDowell and the way that she does checkers and all that was very helpful. So I done that. I'd actually spent some time on the crystal, but I wanted it to look like, you know, the proper original sort of look that the Shadow Seer had. You know, with a pink fist as well. Pink power fist. So yeah, so that's part of my little collection of stuff that I've got to the side there. But yeah, I'd say my first full army was Biel-Tan Eldar, which because I love aspect warriors. Lovely dude, proper OG, and great job on the channel. Thank you very much. Normally, like with Titans, I use decals, but there's no way I'm doing decals on that smaller model. But yeah, it was, yeah, so 32 years I've had them, which, yeah, I did have one model that was like one of my original Space Marines, but when I sold my Raptors, because it was part of my Raptors force, I had to let him go. It was a Space Marine with a melter gun who was like that, one of the original metal ones. I absolutely loved that, but I had to let him go with the rest of the Raptors that I sold to my friend Paul, because they weren't getting any use, and it was unfair. They deserve to be used and abused in battles, and he just had his gaming room built for him and his son, but they didn't have any armies, so I sold him all my Tau and all my Raptors, and that was a full company of Raptors as well. So infantry wise sorted, plus there was a selection of tanks, Storm Ravens, plus my Kit Bash Thunderhawk that I built out of 2 Storm Ravens and a Vindicator kit. So yeah, I sold them all, and I threw some extra bits and pieces in and whatnot. And they had 2 instant armies to be kicking ass with. Oh, I missed them. And I named my last Reaver Titan after the Raptors, so that's why it's called Raptorus. In honor of those brave dudes. What was I doing? I was meant to be painting, wasn't I? Okay, what's it? I've got 2 more things, show and tell. 2 more. Okay, 3 more. 3 more things for show and tell. Right. So back in the old days of lore and original days of small tiny tonks and mighty battle engines, my love for Titans came in the form of the Reaver Titan. And that dude, which appeared in Codex Titanicus, because that's when they introduced Gryphonicus, the War Griffins, and this was the one that they had in the book, and White Dwarf. Arm-mounted Apocalypse Launcher, Power Fist, nothing on the top. They did in later put a banner thing on it on the actual model, but in the magazine it has no carapace mount, and that's something that you could do back then, was that you never had to actually have the carapace loaded out. You could just go in with like weapons like that. So there was him. There's this one which I've done in Legio Magma. So that's just using contrast paints to get that transition there. So he's fully ramped up. Badass. There's that head as well. That's what sold it for me. And then original scheme Ignatum with its spotty mottled carapace. The red shins, the red superstructure, well, on the arms and weapons. I lost the actual weapon. I've refound the weapon, but now I've glued this in place. So I could try and break that off and replace it, because it had originally had a macro cannon. But again, with the Apocalypse Launcher, the plasma blast gun type thing, plasma cannon, power fist, and that's the defense laser. So the defense laser, I think, transitions into being the volcano cannon, but originally it was defense. It's called defense laser. You also had the Quake gun. The macro cannon was the Quake gun, but when you compare these to, let's go this way. Modern day Reaver, modern day Reaver, say modern day Warhound. Looky. That's crazy. And you say like Warhounds are just, they weren't like in this scale. I didn't really like Warhounds. I only like Reavers. I appreciated Warlords. I really didn't like Warhounds. And it wasn't until I think around about 2010 where a friend of mine, Nikki Loftus, she, for her 30th, all our friends chipped in and purchased the Warhound, and I said I'd paint it, build and paint it for her, because she's got a name in a book that is known as Titanicus. So there's a Warhound for Legio Invicta that is called Morbius Sire, and that's my friend Nikki. So that's her title. So I painted up Morbius Sire. I've always wanted to learn that dappled grey painting technique. It's really, really easy. Like the way I do it is really easy, because as you already know, I don't do things that are too hard. I get bored. But basically, like with my Gryphonicus dudes, on this scale at least anyway, like on bigger scale you might want to sort of vary the actual way you do it, but on these guys, so once I got like the grey Halfords grey primer base coat or primer coat, my first colour I add then is Dawnstone. So Dawnstone base. So I go over all the plates in that, and then I stipple or sponge. Obviously, if it's bigger, sponge maybe, smaller, stipple. Because stippling with a brush is a lot easier to control. So I stipple with Administratum Grey to give a little bit of texture with the dappling, the speckling. Then I wash over it once it's dry with 50-50 Agrax and water. So obviously let the darker parts of the Agrax that seep into the trim edge sort of thing. But it also sort of like binds it a little bit better. And then I will go over with another bit of stippling, lighter this time, with Administratum Grey. That's it. Obviously you can go as heavy or as light as you want. Sometimes if you find that you might have over stippled or sponged, then you just sponge again with the Dawnstone. So it balances out again. So that way it gives you that sort of mottled effect. If you look on my IG, you'll see my all my dudes for Gryphonicus. They've all been done that way. It's simple and effective, and you can really make it look quite awesome. And it's just straightforward stipples, you know, because you want it to be subtle. You don't want to be like what I did with Solaria and Audax. You don't want it to be too glaring. You want that subtle sort of feel to it. So as you look at it, then you clock it. Like at a glance, you go, you can just see a little bit, but it's better on the bigger models. You can't really see it much on this one, unfortunately. But on the bigger sort of like AT scale stuff, it can really look quite effective. and it's when you look at it, and that's when you see it, and that's what you want. You want it to sort of like grab you in a surprising manner. Yeah, old leopard print. See, that's a repaint over repaint, because on one picture I was trying to zoom in, and it looked like it looked brown. This is weird. It looked brown, and it had like yellow, red, and another colour like dots. So I went, okay, that's different. Okay, whatever. But then I saw a HD quality picture in a book and realised it was the leopard print sort of effect. So I repainted it. But even that against a warhound. I love Titans. We'll put these back. Right. I like simple. Right. You clock it afterwards. It was drew me to Gryphonicus paint schemes. Never. But that's the thing. It's like a lot of the stuff that I do is really subtle. So I always remember when I'd done my Raven Guard for Heresy, which was my first Marine army that I did for Heresy. Because if you see their sort of Heresy artwork, you see some of them have like tribal markings on their armor, but it's a very subtle transition. Like I used like my armor was black, but it was like a matte black, not a shiny black, and I went over with Eshin grey, so it's quite a dark grey, and then washed over it with Nuln Oil. That tied it, bonded it, made it look part of the actual thing. And you take pictures of them, and you can see it. But I took them into the local store for the first time I ever played Heresy, which was in a little sort of like gaming campaign day sort of thing. And my first game that I played was against Mortarion and his lot, Death Guard, and we went in, and Daz, who's now the head painter for Warcradle Studios, Daz, he worked in the store. He ran the store for Wayland Games, and he's come over and he's looking at them, and he just went, dude, these are so much better in the flesh than what I've seen on the thing. And that's because it doesn't translate sometimes. Like, as much as I always try to have a really good camera phone for photographing my models, sometimes it doesn't translate, like especially when you upload into Facebook and stuff like that, because they lose some of the quality there. But it was just really like surprising that, like, oh, you didn't realise that. I mean, yeah, dude, these are so much better. Like, it's that sort of the subtlety. It adds to it, but it's like a little pleasant surprise. So it's like you turn up and go, hey, where did these dudes come from? What? All this stuff here. So, right. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how these have turned out. You know, again, not a lot of effort into them. It just works. But I think the little like unit stripe definitely adds to the overall effect. Yeah, I'm still debating about doing one on here, but it would be quite a bit bigger, I think. Like I'd have to literally just do that section there as like painting it up, and I'm not sold. I'll have to look at some more sort of detail and like try and look up some of the old schemes that they had in some of the like earlier sort of like Forge World books in particular with their tank designs, because the Forge World books really did go to town on the whole thing. Um, so it really did sort of gives you a lot more detail to work with. Those are nice tiny tonks. Thank you. Compare it to some of the Dracosans. I haven't got any Dracosans. These are all the tanks I have. I have no transports. I purely have Lehman Russes, Malcadors, and a Baneblade. That's it. As I said, my friend gave them to me because she wasn't going to be using them. It was basically all part of a review stuff that she got sent out. I think like her other half has kept some, but she said like these are here. I've kept a few bits for myself for little projects that he wants to do, but I'm more than happy to give them to you because I know that you'll enjoy them and you'll do something with them, probably play a game. So I went, thank you very much, and I pay for the postage for it, sort of thing, and I just basically said I'll claim them as a birthday present. So yes. So there's not. You don't have to really go to town on a model to make them look cool, and they're a good tabletop standard, I reckon. Mm-mm. Right, I've also got a. I've got to. I've got to do something. Should find the right kind of brush for this job. This might or might not work. Goggles! Bring me my sex goggles! kill rings. Right. Yeah, I actually did magnetize the turret because I love that slap. So a little, so even just that little marking on there of having the kill rings, you know, that adds something to the actual model. And I know like some people like to do like all the sort of border panels or paint them in metallics, but no, no, I won't do it. I won't do it, I tells you. Oh, yeah, I really quite like that. Cracks whip. Ross. I think yeah, I'm as tanks go, I'm really quite pleased with those. Maybe in the future I might get more. See now that's the thing. Now I've done them, I'm going to be thinking about tiny tonks to add to them. But maybe I should just concentrate next on doing the what do you call it? The infantry part. So we've got Ogryns. So you've got two walkers per sprue. So I've got 8 of the little walkers and 4 Ogryns per sprue. So that's 16 Ogryns. Sentinels, that's it. Yeah, thank you. Any thoughts on how to paint? You'd paint the air. They've come out really well. Tank Company next. Fuck off. Yeah. I'll again because these dudes, I haven't really had a proper look at the actual sprues. So, got the metal shoulder pads and thingy. So probably be some form of grey because I'm trying to keep them urban. Like these guys, you know, black boots, grey overalls, and then the metallic armor plate and helm, basically. So you've got your power weapons, you've got your flamers. So how many flamers you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 flamer dudes. 4 axes. 9 axes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So, the command section. What is a dude missing there? Yeah, I'll have to look into how these go together really, and do them as good a job as I can, really. That's all it comes down to. Just trying to make them look badass. Just make sure. What's that? Yeah, so there's options there. There's options. Well, I think that's me for the painting side of things done. So, yeah, I didn't even realise it was quarter to 11. So that's been quite a nice little session. Thank you everybody for coming to hang out and joining the tonks, getting them finished up. So that's really pretty cool. And thank you for the conversation and the company. So much appreciated as always. What's it? Yeah. So this Wednesday, I won't be on Wednesday night because unfortunately I'm a Spurs supporter, and we're in the UEFA Cup final, and it's my little brother's birthday. But it's actually his birthday today, right? So yeah, 4 days apart. Although he's 9 years younger, but if it just we'll go to that and hopefully be victorious, because we really need to have a trophy come to White Hart Lane or the Tottenham Stadium, whatever it is going to be called. I don't know, but yeah. So I'll see if I can get another time during the week. I might maybe Monday or Tuesday night. I might come on for a bit, but otherwise we'll be back next Saturday. So thank you all. Thank you, Sophist and Kenneth, for hanging out. I'm going to go torment the boss for a little bit before going to bed because I've got work tomorrow. So I'll check out your picture in the Discord of the bunny whip, and I hope you're all cool and have a great weekend. And I shall see you all again next week at some point. So until then, happy hobbying. Take it easy, people. Bye.